Hi there, I am Aman and you're watching PTO classes. So in this video we are going to study grade 9th second poem Wind. This beautiful poem is composed by Subramanya Bharati, and this poem is basically composed in Tamil. So the poem is first composed in the native language of the poet, that is Tamil. So is this poem is later translated in English by A.K. Ramanujan for the readers worldwide. So this poem was written in Tamil first, and later on it got translated in English, and A.K. Ramanujan translated it. So this poem is a very beautiful poem, and like the first poem, The Road Not Taken, this poem also deals with some issues which are directly concerned with the people in general. In our lives we have some issues which the poet or the poem is dealing with. So the central idea of the poem is that we should be brave, we should be ready for the difficulties, we should face the difficulties, we should be strong enough to face the challenges that life puts in front of us. And the poem Wind, the wind in general, is symbolizing all those difficulties. So the poet, with the help of the element of our nature, wind, tries to convey the idea that wind is so powerful and it can be very destructive, and it is a very hazardous thing in our life. It is very dangerous, but at times we can deal with it if we are brave enough. So this poem deals with the situation of getting into some trouble or facing some difficulties, and how you cope up with those problems, how you cope up with having a strong willpower, with having some strength in you. So let's start the poem stanza wise. Wind comes softly, don't break shutters of the windows, don't scatter the papers, don't throw down the books on the shelf. So this is the first four lines of a poem. The poem is not written in stanza wise, but we have break the poem. We have done the division of the poem according to the lines which are changing the idea of the poem, which are taking the poem in new eras. So here see the first four lines. Wind, come softly, don't break shutters of the windows, don't scatter the papers, don't throw down the books on the shelf. So here the poet is requesting the wind to come very softly, very gently, and don't break shutters of the windows. What are the shutters? The panes of doors or windows. Or scatter means to throw in different directions. So here in the first four lines, the poet in a way is requesting the wind to be gentle on the people. Don't scatter things, don't throw the things away, don't break things, don't create a havoc. So now take a look in the second stanza what the wind is doing. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You bought rain again. You're very clever. Sorry, the R letter is missing. You're very clever at poking fun at weaklings, frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. The wind god winnows, crushes them all. So here in the first stanza we have seen that the poet is requesting the wind to not do all the things that are harmful for us, uh, to not throw the papers around us, not scatter the paper around us, to not break the shutters of the windows, and to not create havoc. But what is happening here? Wind does exactly what the poet was afraid of. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. What the wind threw all down? He threw the papers down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. So the poet is accusing the wind that it is not the season of the rain. Rain is good, but rain, when it comes without the season, without the need, the requirement of the rain, it creates havoc. So the poet is accusing wind that because of you, because of your you blowing very fastly, rain has come, and now see what you are doing. You're throwing the papers around us. You are poking fun at weaklings. What are weaklings? Weak people. So what the poet is trying to say, that you make fun of the weak things, not only the weak people, but the weak element of the nature of the ecosystem. Frail means to break. You break, you destroy houses, you destroy doors, you destroy rafters. What is rafters? One of the long pieces of wood that support our roof, some stick or something like that, which supports the roof of the wooden house. So you break the rafters, the weak things which are present there, and you destroy the wood, you destroy the bodies, you destroy the lives, you destroy the hearts. Here hearts depicts the liveliness, the joy of the people. So the poet is telling wind that whenever you come, you destroy everything, especially the things which are weak by nature. See, the rafters are present only in kacha houses, where the roof is supported by the rafters, so it is a kacha house. The houses which are not that strong, the people who are not that strong, the papers are not you can say that they are not that tough. They are not like the concrete things, they can be blown away. So the poet in a sense is saying that you make fun of all the weaklings, and you create a lot of destruction. The wind god winnows. What is winnows? Winnows means the process when we separate the particles, the bad particles from grain, and we convert it into food. So the process is there, and wind god winnows. It is you have to separate wind god and winnows. The wind god winnows. So here the poet is referring to wind as a god, and he's saying that the wind god winnows it. It creates havoc in the grain in the field, and it crushes all the grains in the field. So basically the poet is describing what disaster, what destruction the wind creates. In the first stanza, the poet was requesting the wind to not do so, and in the second stanza, the poet is telling the readers that the wind has done exactly the same what the poet was afraid of. Now let's move ahead. He won't do what you tell him. Now the poet is addressing us. He won't do what you tell him. Who won't do? The wind. He won't do what you tell him. So come, let's build strong homes. Let's join the toes firmly. Practice to firm body. Make the heart steadfast. Do this, and the wind will be friends with us. So here the poet is telling that how can we get rid of the destruction by wind? How can we survive the disaster created by the wind? So what the poet is telling, he won't do what you tell him. First of all, the poet is telling the wind never obeys us. The wind does whatever it wants. So similarly, the difficulties in life, we can't say that please spare us from the difficulties, we want to live in peace. So it happens, the difficulties will come. Can you run away from the exams? Just now your exams were conducted, can you hide from the exams? No, it has to happen. So the same way, wind will not obey us, it will do what it desires. So come, let build strong homes. What the poet is suggesting, that what we can do, as we have seen in the second stanza, that it creates havoc for weaklings. So what the poet is suggesting that, so come, let bring strong homes. If the kacha houses are being destroyed by the wind, so let's bring strong homes. Let's join the doors if the doors are targeted by the winds. Practice to firm body if um, it is creating problem for the weak people. So make yourself strong, make the bodies strong, make the heart steadfast. So we were discussing that wind crumbles the hearts, wind takes the joy from your life. So what you do, you make yourself so strong that you don't feel anything, any pressure in your life. So basically wind is symbolizing the difficulties in life. So the poet is trying to say that make yourself and your surroundings so strong that you are not afraid of the difficulties. Basically you are not afraid of the wind which is the difficulty in one's life. Do this and the wind will be friends with us. So what the poet is telling, if you do all this, if you will be in a strong position, if you will be strong mentally, if your houses are strong, if your body is strong, so you will be friends with wind. The difficulties will feel like nothing to you. The wind will be friend with you. So how can you make the wind friend? By doing all the things that are written above, by building strong homes, by joining the doors, by making your body strong, by making your heart strong. So all these things helps you to become friends with the wind. So now let's see the last four lines of the poem, what the poet is concluding, how the poet is concluding the poem. The wind blows out weak fires, he makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good, we praise him every day. So see, the poet is telling us that wind blows out weak fires. What I have told you, that wind is symbolizing the difficulties in our life, and the wind is blowing out the weak fires. So the poet is in a sense praising the wind here. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good, we praise him every day. So the poet is telling that we praise wind every day because it though it symbolizes the difficulties in our life, but it also tells us that to be brave, to be strong, and to face our difficulties like wind blows out the weak fires, the fires which are weak. he uh, the wind blows it out. So you also blow out the weak things in your lives, and he makes strong fires roar and flourish. So the strong elements present in your lives, you make it flourish, um, you make it more useful to you. You polish your skills in a way that it becomes more beneficial to you. So the poet is telling us his friendship is good, that we are friends with winds. It is good, like wind we should blow out our weak points, and we should concentrate on our strong points. So we praise wind every day for what he does. The wind blows out weak fires and he makes strong fires roar and flourish. So this element of wind makes us admire the wind. His friendship is good because it blows out the weak things and it strengthens the strong elements. So here the wind is blowing the weak fires and it is strengthening the strong fires, but here poet has used symbolification of symbolizing the weak fires and strong fires by our lives, good and bad things, weak and strong elements. So we got it. So in the poem we have seen how beautifully poet has described the wind, and how he has symbolized the wind to the difficulties of our life. So there are a number of devices, literary devices used in the poem. Let's discuss them. So first of all, this poem is in a free verse. You see that no division of stanzas are there. It is written in a free verse. It is called a free verse. So poet has written the whole poem as whole, not in stanzas. Secondly, the poet has used personification. You see, the you tore the pages of the books, you brought the rain again. He makes strong fires roar. So the poet is personifying the wind. He is using he and you, which we use for a person, for the wind. So personification is used, and repetition is also used here. See the paragraph where the word crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters is here. The word crumbling is repeated, and it is used to used for beautification of the poem. It is making the poem look more authentic, more beautiful, more linguistically good. So here the element of repetition is used, plus the alliteration, the device. I've told you that what is alliteration: when the sound of consonant, the consonant word is repeated in context, in reference to the words. It is used in one line. It is used one after the other. So the repetition of consonant sound is there. See, the wind god winnows, the sound w is used, so it is alliteration. In the next line, see, he won't do what you tell him, so again w sound is repeated, won't do what. So alliteration is also used very beautifully. And most importantly, the device that is used in the poem is symbolification. The symbolizing is done very beautifully. The poet has symbolized wind with our difficulties. Here you see that wind is creating all the disturbances in the lives, and which are compared to the difficulties that are there in the lives of people. So poet has very beautifully described the wind, and he has symbolized it with the difficulties present in one's life. So this was your poem. Hope you have understood the poem. The poet has very well described that how we request the wind to not create havoc, then how the wind creates havoc in our life, what difficulties it creates in our life, and how we can make friends with wind, how we can make ourselves strong so we cannot be harmed by wind, and how we praise wind every day, and we treat wind as a god. So I hope you have understood the poem. If you have any doubts, do write in the comment. Watch the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and keep on sharing the videos. Thank you so much for watching the lecture.